everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. So today's video is all about the C-section. I had a C-section 4 months ago with my little boy Stanley, and I thought it would be quite helpful if I shared some tips on how I recovered. I recovered really well. I found the process quite straightforward, and I think that it's mainly because I followed these tips. So if you've just had a C-section, or you know you're having a C-section, or you just want to watch because you're going to give birth, you don't know what's going to happen, I suggest you watch this, and I hope that you take some tips from it. So first things first, when you have your C-section, the operation is done and you're being wheeled around into recovery, you will start to feel, I did really quickly, some like sensation coming back, and it's painful, I can't lie. It was for me anyway. It came back really quick. I think my anaesthetic wore off really quickly, and I just found it absolutely agonizing. I was like, oh my god, like serious pain. That's not to scare anyone, but that is just the reality of it. I have some more painkillers. So this is the first tip that I'm going to say. Take your painkillers. Do not feel like, oh no, I feel okay actually, so I'm not going to take them. Take them at least for a week, and then afterwards maybe think about reducing them if you really don't feel like you need them. But do not feel like you need to be this amazing person that doesn't take any painkillers. Like, it is major abdominal surgery. It's very painful, so take your painkillers and keep on top of them. I like literally set myself an alarm on my phone. I was like, every 4 hours ibuprofen, paracetamol, done. And that just kept on top of the pain management. I think I stopped taking painkillers, I think it was about 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks. I know some people stop earlier, I know some people carry on for ages longer. It just totally depends on how you are, how you recover. I think it totally depends as well whether you had an emergency or a planned. I sit somewhere totally in the middle. It was not planned, but it also wasn't an emergency. But yeah, take your painkillers, and yeah, just don't be afraid to take them. I also took Oromorph, which is oral morphine, when I was in the hospital, and they did give me a bottle to take home. I stopped taking that on day 3 because it was making me really drowsy, and I didn't really like that feeling. I felt like I was drunk, and when you've got a newborn to look after, you don't want to feel drunk. Tip number 2, something that really helped me, was eating healthily and drinking loads of water. Like seriously, drink so much water. It just helps you with all the constipation, because you do seem to get quite a lot after a C-section. Constipation, trapped wind, it's just like these horrible 2 things that come with having a C-section. Trapped wind was horrific for me, actually, so is constipation. Yeah, it's funny, you forget all these things when you look back, you're like, oh my god. But yeah, both of them were not very pleasant, and I really think it did help by just drinking a lot of water. Eating pretty good too. I think the first couple of days after having a C-section, I didn't really want to eat, to be honest. I just wasn't really in the frame of mind. I think I was so high on adrenaline, my stomach hurt. I just felt like, oh no, it's the last thing I wanted. But you do have to keep eating and try and eat as healthily as you can. I think when I got back, I was really tempted a couple of nights just to have like a pizza or something quick. My mum was like, nope, you're gonna have a vegetable soup. Then she made me like a vegetable dinner. I just had so much veg, and I think that helped in the constipation area for sure. Okay, high-waisted pants. I cannot stress this enough. Go as high as you physically can find. Literally, I brought a load of high-waisted knickers, which I thought were high-waisted for me, because I didn't really tend to wear that high-waisted knickers. No, they like rolled down onto my scar, and as you can imagine, it is so painful. So you need to literally get the highest waisted, does that even make sense? High-waisted knickers that you can possibly find, because they honestly, you do need them. Like, they seriously do need to be high, because you do not want them knickers rolling down on your scar, trust me. Also, I think what's really important, which I really like, some people don't love these, some people do, I really like the disposable underwear. I know some people are like, oh, just put a pad in, because you do get bleeding after a C-section, like, believe it or not. Some people are like, nah, I don't think you do. You do. Like, I can't compare it to anything because I haven't had a vaginal birth, but there is a lot of bleeding, more than I thought. I thought, oh, you'll just get a few dribs and drabs. No, like, it is full on. So I made sure that I took loads of disposable underwear in my suitcase to the hospital, and I wore them, I'd say, for about the first 4 or 5 days, I'd say. I found them so much easier. rather than like constantly bending down, because honestly you're just so sore, you don't want to keep bending down, putting a pad in. And then sometimes with these big high-waisted knickers, I found the pad didn't stick very well to the knickers, and it was just so frustrating. So in the end I was just like, right, I'm just going to keep wearing these, and I ordered some more and I wore them until I think the first 5 days to a week. I just found it easier as well, because once you're done with them you can just rip them off at the side and put them straight in the bin, rather than keep pulling the pants up, pulling them down. It was just easier, I found. So yeah, high-waisted knickers or disposable knickers, I think, are the one. Not only knickers, I'd say clothing as well. Like, if you know you're going in for a C-section, just go to Primark or go wherever and just get so much loose clothing. If you're having a C-section in the next few days or weeks or whatever, when it's going to be really, really warm, just have, like, I would say just have like loads of maxi dresses if you can, or just really high-waisted trousers. Like, you will thank me later, I promise. Okay, another really good tip that someone told me was to take a blanket or a pillow when you're traveling in the car, and it does honestly make a difference. So when you've got your scar, obviously, when you're traveling and you're going over bumps and things like that, any movement is just painful at that point. The first kind of week, everything's just a bit like, oh, ow, oh, ow. So yeah, take a pillow or a blanket, or I think I even used one of Stanley's muslins at one point, roll it up and just press it against your scar, so basically so it like hides where your seatbelt would normally go. It takes the pressure off, like when you feel the movement, and it also takes the pressure off where your seatbelt is. So yeah, that's a really good tip. And in general with pillows, just have as many as you possibly can. You just need them, like you need them when you're in bed to like help you, like prop you up, because it's not very comfortable lying flat for the first week or two. You need them if you're going to try and breastfeed, or even if you're not breastfeeding, if you're bottom feeding. Like, you just need as many pillows around you as possible, just to like take that like edge off and just make sure like you're protected around your scar, because I think it just makes you like, oh, it's making me cringe. Sometimes it just makes you cringe thinking like anything's gonna like fall on it or roll on it or whatever. But if you've got pillows, you're kind of protecting yourself, almost making like a little barrier around your scar. If you are planning to breastfeed, the midwife that came on day 3 for me showed me how to breastfeed lying down on my side, and oh my goodness, it made such a difference. I was really struggling with having Stanley on me. I mean, he was quite a chunky baby, and having him on my tummy that was just so sore and painful just felt almost impossible. Like, I honestly think that is maybe why I struggled with breastfeeding them first weeks, because I couldn't almost stand him on me. It was too painful. So the midwife showed me how to breastfeed lying down in the side lying position. Game changer, genuine game changer. So if you are having a section, or you have one, and your midwife is coming around, or your health visitor, get them to show you how to do the side lying breastfeeding position, and it really does help. Yeah, just not having the baby like on your tummy when it's all tender just makes the world of difference. So I know that lots of people talk about having like a nappy caddy downstairs for the baby. Have one of them for yourself as well, because if you don't have somebody in the house 24/7, maybe your partner's had to go back to work, or you don't have family around you, or you have young kids, make sure you have stuff within sort of reaching point to you. So in the end, I created a little caddy downstairs just for me. So I had disposable underwear in there, I had new knickers, I just had basically all my toiletries in a little caddy, and I just took that to the toilet with me. Because yeah, basically to avoid just keep doing stairs trips, like you really don't want to keep doing stairs trips. And then you feel bad sometimes that your partner's doing a million things for you too. So if you've just got something downstairs, this is if you live in a house, some of you might live in a flat or a bungalow. If you live in a house, definitely create like a little caddy downstairs for you. And actually, I think that tip goes for any birth, not just a C-section. Obviously, if you have a vaginal birth, you're probably more likely to be able to walk up the stairs, I don't know. But I'd say just for ease, try and create like a little caddy downstairs which has everything in it, pads, new underwear, any creams or lotions that you want, just yeah, keep it all downstairs. Okay, so another one which I think is fairly obvious, I feel like loads of people say this, is keep moving. You really do need to keep moving. First time I got out of bed after having the section, I think I had him at 2:30, and then I got up the next day. They take your catheter at 8 o'clock the next day, which just feels like, what? Like, how? But they do, they just rip it out. Well, they don't rip it out, but you know what I mean. After that, they make you get up and go to the toilet, and it's a really strange sensation. And I found it, I'm not gonna lie, agonizing. I took about 3 attempts, which is absolutely fine. I got up, I felt really, really faint, and I was like, oh no, I think a lot of it probably has to do with the morphine. But the midwife told me to do everything in little steps. So she said, right, what you should do is just sit up. Okay, that's one section. Sit there for a couple of minutes and then try and swivel your legs round and sit at the end of the bed. That's another one. Wait there for as long as you can and then stand up. And then she said to me, and then just sit on the chair. Just sit on the chair. Sit on the chair for as long as you can and then get up and walk to the toilet. And that really, really helped me. Just like doing everything in like small steps rather than doing like this big walk to the toilet. It was like, actually no, it took me about, I think it was like an hour maybe, where I just did all these little small steps which led up to kind of moving. All these like little small steps which then eventually kind of led up to me actually going to the toilet. Make sure someone goes to the toilet with you. I think that's like an obvious, but Dale was with me the whole time and oh my god, I needed him. Like getting down on the toilet, you need support. Like you almost need someone to like carry you down, if you know what I mean, and then kind of pick you back up, because it is really hard work that first time. But once you do it, you feel incredible, and then you feel like, oh yeah, I can do this again, oh yeah, I'll do it again, and then everything just becomes that little bit easier. So yeah, keep moving, do not stay static, do not lie on your bed the whole time you're in hospital or when you get home. Try and just keep moving. Honestly, it helps so much, and it really helps with like your constipation as well and your digestive system. I think the more you're just lying down and you're just not doing anything, I think the worse it's going to be. Having said all that, there's also something to be said for taking it very, very slow, and I mean it. Like, do not overdo it, because you will only find yourself back in hospital with an infected scar or a ripped stitches or just something else. So just please take it easy if you are having a section or you've just had one. It's serious work. I don't think I completely underestimated it basically, and that first week it can be very, very painful, so do not underestimate it. Make sure you've got help if you can. Like, I know some people don't have help. If you can have help, make sure you can take as much help as you can, and just, yeah, take it slow. Take as many kind of sleeps and rests as humanly possible. The one that I actually never did, but somebody said to me to do, which I thought was a really good idea, but I never did it myself, was putting a stool at the bed, so you can basically step up onto the bed, because it is quite difficult. You don't, when you kind of sit on the bed after a section, you kind of don't want to like stretch out your abdomen too much. So if you can kind of like reduce that like big jump, then I think it's a really good idea. So yeah, try and have a step at the end of your bed. Okay, so that is it. They are my C-section recovery tips. I really hope they have helped if you are going for a planned C-section, or you have an unplanned one, or if you're having an emergency one. I just really hope these help you. It is honestly an incredible experience. I'm so excited for you if you're going to have one. I absolutely loved my C-section. It wasn't what was planned. It was the last thing I wanted, in all honesty. But looking back, I look at it as a really positive experience, and Stanley got his safely. I was safe, and it was, honestly, it was a truly incredible experience. So I am so excited for you. Good luck. I hope this video has been helpful, and I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you.